This is a very serious issue, guys. I have a stalker. Now, it's not just one of those creepy things that on Facebook you see and that random person's message you and is like, "What's up, girl?" None of that stuff, because that stuff's pretty easy. You just block them and you don't respond to them, you just ignore them. I mean, if it gets to a point, and then you can just like be like, "What's up? These people are harassing me. Deal with them now. Get rid of them." But this is one of those scenarios where it's an in real life moment. You don't really have control over the situation, and it's one of those things you just kind of have to deal with as best as possible. One of my cats opened the door. Maybe I thought it was gonna be my stalker. Woo! For the sake of this video, I'm gonna keep this person's name labeled as Regina. So Regina, I think she might have had a crush on me. So here's the thing about Regina. Regina's a couple years younger than me. I was in a higher grade than she was. Normally you see in the movies it's like the older cool senior, you know, he's ripped, he's just like, "Oh, I'm so cool, I play football, I'm quarterback, you know, I sign all the girls' foreheads and stuff like that." And then you have this other like not as cool girl come in as like a freshman or a sophomore, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, if I could do anything to be with this quarterback person, senior man." It was kind of one of those scenarios, except I don't fit the stereotypical role of the good-looking quarterback person, but band nerd. So here's the deal. During school, I had a last hour band class, and I'd always pass Regina on my way to band class. I never noticed this kind of happening, but all of a sudden, I just happened to notice that this person's following me, because I'm not stupid. I tend to be pretty self-aware. Like, I'm more of a street smart person rather than a school smart person, because school's cool and all, you know, education, love it, love learning, awesome, support it. Maybe not the system, but that's a different video. I generally have a pretty good self-awareness when people are following me, looking at me. You know that feeling you get when you just feel someone like staring at you, and they're like looking at you, trying to get your attention, or maybe they're just looking at you for some odd reason, and you just kind of know it's happening, so you kind of look up right in that general direction, you make awkward eye contact, and then you both look away because you don't know what to do. Kind of one of those things. I kind of knew Regina was there following me. So I started to take notice of this. In our school, there was 2 hallways, and then there was like this middle lunchroom spot, and band class was on one of the corners of the hallway. So I would usually go to the far hallway. My locker was over here. I'd usually walk my way around, go down to the far hallway, and come over here to band. But I started to take notice that Regina was also doing this as well. It wasn't just like a typical, "Oh, this is someone you meet up with during the hallway when you're walking." It was like Regina would just kind of appear and then like walk past me and then slow down and then like walk behind, and then like it was weird things I was noticing. Like she'd speed past me, and then some days like I'd walk and then she'd catch up to me, and it was kind of one of those weird things. I'm like, I don't feel quite right about this. So what I started doing was I started going down, instead of going down this hallway, I started going down this hallway and then looping around to get to band. Well, that didn't really solve my problem, because Regina started taking notice of me going down this hallway instead of this hallway, and then she started following me there. So I had to think, okay, Jack, you're smart. You're a smart kid. What are you gonna do to divert Regina and get yourself in a clear hallway path? What I did is I started taking a little bit longer from my previous class to my locker to my next class. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I take longer, she won't see me and she'll be like, "Oh, I have to get to the next class." So I decided to try this out a couple times. The downside was I didn't have very much time to get from this side of the school all the way over to this side of the school, back down to this side of the school, within a little less than 10 minutes. So I try this out. I take my sweet time getting there, and I pass, and she's on her locker. She grabs her bag as I'm passing and is like holding on to it, getting ready to walk. And I'm like, perfect. Regina's gonna just walk off and I can go get my bag, and then I can walk down to my class in peace. I was wrong. Regina looked over at me as I'm getting my stuff, and you know, like I mentioned before, I have that self-awareness where I can see someone looking at me, and I turn my head, make awkward eye contact with her, and she keeps staring at me. So I get my bag and I just kind of waddle out, and I grab it, and I walk as fast as I can to get to a certain hallway so she can't figure out what I'm doing. And she follows me. She waited for me to get out of my locker to follow me. Regina was relentless. This has been going on for a couple months now, and I'm starting to get kind of annoyed at it because it's like, I really don't want you, I really just don't want you following me. I don't really appreciate it. So I devised another plan. So my previous plan, like I said, was to walk slower. So I figured, okay, that kind of worked. Let's change this hypothesis and let's test it to see if it works. Science vocab, let's go. I'm gonna walk slow so I get to my locker later, and I'm gonna walk slow so she has to go before me so I can make the diversion to go to the other hallway that she doesn't choose. I'm walking slow, I get to my locker, she's there, she looks at me again, I'm like, oh, I'm winning this game, sucker. She goes and waits for me, and I slowly start walking, but she starts walking too, so I stay behind her the whole time. She even looks back at me to see where I'm going. She goes, there's a whole 180 turn, it's like a head whip, it's like whoop whoop, and she's trying to figure out which way I'm going so she can follow me. Not today, sucker! So she goes down one of the hallways, and whichever way she didn't go down, I would wait till the last possible second, and then I'd curve down like, and then we'd walk on our two separate ways. Oh, and I could just live in peace, except for the fact that I didn't mention our cafeteria had windows. And we're sitting in this hallway. There's windows, and I look over to my right, and she's looking over at me, and I'm like, nope, we're looking straight ahead. And then, at the end of that hallway, before I turned, because I have to go around this way then to get to the band room, she'd make eye contact with me here. So I had to do this for probably a good month before Regina caught on to what I was getting after. Like, please stop stalking me. I don't appreciate it. And that month doesn't count the other months of me testing out different hypotheses to get her away from me. This was like a month of me doing this last minute decision. That's another piece of mental stress that I don't need. Regina finally caught on and finally got it, and so I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I could just walk down whichever hallway. I always made sure, though, I was always watching to make sure she wasn't still trying to follow me. But I made sure, wow, I need a water. Regina finally caught on, and I was able to choose which hallway I wanted to in peace and freedom. Thank the Lord that is done and over with. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you like hearing these stories, smash that like button. If you don't like hearing these stories, well, smash that like button because you can. Subscribe if you're new and click the bell notification to get all my notifications on this channel so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm gonna run all that through the camera. Bye.